What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Titans Beast World issue number 1. The epic event starts here. That's right. We're starting another event within the DC universe, because that's exactly what we need. Another event after Night Terrors and Gotham War and all that. I get it's good to have like yearly crossover events, but my goodness, DC has just gone so overboard with so many so soon. But this is the first big Titans event. I think there's something like 18 or so issues within the whole entire event. I don't know if I'll actually be covering that all thing. I will just see what people think of this video and say, hey Sean, do you want to cover more stuff? I may cover just the main Beast World issues and maybe some of the others, some small tie-ins, but I don't think I have the energy to cover every single one. There's just too many at this point. I'm event fatigued at DC. But this one is written by Tom Taylor and art by Ivan Reis. And now positives right out of the way. Ivan Reis's artwork is fantastic from start to finish. I think the action bits hit pretty heavy. This takes place after the events of the previous issue of Titans, which I just covered yesterday on the channel. Now, as we know, Nightwing and Wally, they were trying to kill Wally West, and it didn't quite work out. And so they realized, okay, there should be this sense, one of my complaints of the previous issue of Titans was there was this lack of urgency to take on Brother Eternity, and you kind of get that right here in the beginning, because obviously he's going off world and all that. You'd think immediately after that big discovery they'd immediately try to track down Garth and everything, but as we kind of see here, the Titans are just kind of chilling. Why are they just taking it easy right here? Because the previous issue of Titans, Wally averted an assassination attempt. His wife, Linda, was attacked by a parasite which tried to kill him, and they had this big revelation, and then they go to the rainforest or whatever. They're kind of smiling and cracking jokes. I'm sorry, your friend has been taken over by some sort of alien parasite. Why are you chilling back at here? Why are they in their gear? They should have went immediately from where they were at in the rainforest to trying to find Gar and all that stuff. Instead, they're just kind of chilling at Titan's Tower. I'm sorry, that kind of takes me out of it, when there should be a sense of urgency. Your friend has been apprehended, controlled by some sort of alien cult and whatnot, and you're just kind of chilling at the tower. At least Nightwing and Donna Troy and Cyborg's always going to be in his get up, are kind of ready to fight or whatnot. But where was everybody? Why weren't they immediately going after this guy, finding out this stuff? Instead, they're chilling at Titan's Tower. I don't get that. That kind of takes me out of it, because I just read the previous issue and they had all this information about it, and they're just kind of off just chilling at the tower. I'm sorry, they should be ready to go and fight. They shouldn't have gone back there. I'm sorry, we got to find our friend. There was no sense of urgency there. But anyways, just a minor nitpick that kind of bugged me about it. But yeah, so Brother Eternity, or whatever his name is, the Tamaranian guy in disguise, is speaking that, and it turns out there's something going on at the planet where he's trying to move everyone else to, which obviously was the case. Why the Titans weren't immediately on that was beyond me, but now they're on and they're going off to this planet. Most of them need some sort of oxygen mask to kind of cover so they can talk, but apparently Raven doesn't need it for whatever reason. I don't know, it just kind of is what it is. But it turns out that inside the planet wasn't quite Starro. It's this other thing called the Necrostar. It's something that kind of wiped out Tamaran many years ago, or did some serious damage to it, and it couldn't have been killed, but Starro was the only thing that kind of stood a chance against it, if you will. And so they call them members of the Justice League and Titans, and you can see Batman, you can see Damian, you can see Tim, you can see Superman and his family and all that. So they have to find a means to stop it. And now Batman at first was okay, let's go ahead and we got to find the universe, find stars, so we can get that taken care of. And then Beast Boy jumps in and has a suggestion, and she's I kind of do. And Batman's you kind of do? You're going to have to be a little bit better than that. Then Raiden comes in and just kind of demeans him in front of everybody, because, of course she does that awful haircut still. I know it shouldn't bother me as much, but yeah, come on, give Raven a better hairstyle. It's a minor thing, but anyway, so Beast Boy apparently has this crazy plan where he forms into a giant blue whale, or a giant whale at some point. That's gonna be, and then he kind of turns into a giant continent-sized Starro himself. They call him Garo. And I gotta tell you, Beast Boy's powers are so all over the place now with what he can do. Now all of a sudden, I don't know if could he always separate himself into thousands of things. I thought he could only transform into one thing. His powers are so kind of all over the place. It's they can almost do anything at this point. And if he can turn himself into a continent-sized thing, then the Titan should never lose anything to begin with. I don't know. I feel his powers are just so wacky and kind of all over the place, and it's hard to kind of get a grasp on it. Like, now he's just like so overpowered at this point, and I don't know, it kind of takes me out of it. But anyways, so this conquering thing is kind of beaten by Beast Boy in a way. They kind of send it off into like using Cyborg to send it off into like a cold planet within like some sort of black hole. So pretty smart thinking on Gar's part with this plan. So I'll give him that. But it turns out as soon as he's taken out, like the whole like threat with that Necrostar thing, then we have in Dr. Hate here. Remember Dr. Hate, that character that kind of briefly appeared? I think it was at the end of Night Terrors. Yeah, well, he's back, and I guess he's working with Amanda Waller, and he immediately takes over Gar's mind, if you will, because now he's like this planet-sized thing, and Gar's mind is seemingly gone, and now all these spores are getting sent to Earth and turning everyone to beasts, thus ending the first chapter in Beast World Part 1. So this is a big, huge event. Like I said, it's taking over the DC world, so Gar's mind is pretty much gone. Now he's like a continent-sized, like, Starro creature. I don't know how it's all going to wrap up, but I'm sure Beast Boy will be ultimately fine by the end of it, because, like, if you really wanted to make this, like, event, like, feel like there's heavy weight to it, they would kill off Beast Boy, but they're not going to. He's going to be, you watch him right now, he's going to be saved by the power of love, and then all is going to be, like, perfectly fine. Because, I mean, Dark Crisis, nothing really happened with this character there. Now he's like a continent-sized thing. How he grew to that size is just, it's kind of unbelievable, like how his powers are just seemingly like doing all these crazy things I didn't know they could do before. But in terms of action in that, like I said, the Ivan Reis artwork is really good. I did have some complaints, like I said, about the sense of urgency leading from the previous issue, like why the Titans weren't on top of a lot of this stuff. But again, like the Necrostar thing kind of got beaten like rather easily for supposedly being this huge planet-wide threat that kind of like took Starro to beat. But like I said, Gar just became Garo, and he was able to kind of like almost beat it kind of easily at this point. But this is where Dr. Hate or whatever comes in here, and he what a ridiculous name, Dr. Fate, Dr. Hate. I don't know, like it's so cheesy, but I like his design. I think it looks pretty cool. But anyway, so Beast Boy has just gone completely feral at this point, and now all these Garo spores are infecting people and turning them into furries. So that's kind of the main issue in a nutshell. So yeah, artwork really, really good. Like, no complaints here. The story, I mean, like I said, like it's not bad. It's not like outright terrible. There's a few things that kind of bugged me about it. Like I said, going from the previous issue with the lack of sense of urgency, if you will. But like, it's not a bad first issue in this thing. Like I said, it gives you the big hook. The Necrostar thing, like with the setup and Titans and that kind of feels like it was kind of taken care of rather easily. But then again, Garg becomes kind of the threat, and so I don't know like what the end goal of the story is. Like, they want everyone to turn to beasts and furries, if you will, and then they're gonna find some way to kind of like stop it. And Gar's powers just feel really kind of all over the place with what they can kind of do. Because like I said, I didn't know Beast Boy could turn into like a continent-sized thing and change himself into like 1,000 little things. Maybe that was in a comic in some place, or maybe this is kind of new. I mean, there have been a lot of comic books over the years, but that just seems like his power just gets like more and more ridiculous. But at the same time, it's like, if he could do some of this stuff, then how could they ever really like, how could he ever really lose at this point? So I don't know, like I said, his powers are kind of all over the place with some of the stuff that it can kind of do, and now his Garo spores are like infesting into like everyone else and stuff, and it's I don't know how they're going to wrap this thing up per se. But I will say, I don't know who Dr. Hate is or whatnot, but I feel like he's good. I mean, we got 6 issues of this thing, so I'm sure things will wrap up okay. Beast Boy will be fine. Like, his mind will be saved by the power of love. I'm calling it right now within the first issue. And if they actually have the guts to kill his character off, then kudos. Like I said, that's actually like having stakes in a story like this thing. Because I mean, they always talk about the DC universe will change forever, but a lot of these storylines, they don't really do much unless, you know, it's Alfred dying or something. So if they actually had the guts to kill him off, I'd give him kudos, but they're not going to. He'll be saved by the power of love, and everything will be wrapped up just fine. And we'll wonder, like much like Night Terrors, like, why do we waste so many issues on an event? So I know I'm going into this thing a little bit cynical, but the last several events at DC Comics haven't really like done much for me. I mean, we went from Lazarus Planet to like Night Terrors to this now. So I'm just like, I want them to surprise me. I want them to like do something really kind of surprising, because this is, I know Tom Taylor has done some great stuff with like Deceased and that, but you got to remember, this is main universe Tom Taylor. It's almost like 2 completely different people. Like Elseworld stuff, allowed to actually take risks and kind of do some crazy things. Main universe stuff, not always so much. Like, you're a little bit limited and constrained with certain things. So we'll see if we can get that, like, DC's Tom Taylor, or if we're just going to get, like, everything kind of wrapped up more kind of conveniently with some of the other stuff. So I know I've kind of rambled on a long time. Do I think this is a bad comic? No, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, there's some exciting aspects to it. I'm just going into it a little bit cynical, mostly because of some of the other events that we've had this past year. And maybe I am a little bit event fatigued, but I mean, there's a few things that just kind of bother me about it. So Beast Boy becoming a continent-sized threat. I mean, like I said, that's something new. I didn't know he could do something like that, but it also kind of leaves me scratching my head. Like, why couldn't he do some of this stuff, like, utilize some of his abilities like this before? So who knows at this point? Who knows how it's all going to wrap up? But it's not a bad first issue. I am intrigued to see where it goes from here. The main highlight for me is the Ivan Reis artwork, because I think it looks really spectacular. So if you want to, for like the artwork and some of the cool action and visuals, then this is for you. If you want to see the DC characters turn into furries, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are really into that stuff. Then this may be for you. But I'm going to kind of wait and see. I'm not really like up for another event right now because we've just had so many this past year and they just have a ridiculous amount of issues, but hopefully this turns out to be good. So I hope there's actually lasting stakes and consequences. Like that's if you actually have the guts to kill Gar off after not doing it in Dark Crisis, I will probably give this event kudos for that. But it's not going to happen. I'm just calling it right now. Like if it does, I will literally crow. I will be like, okay, you got me, but it's just not going to happen. So, I mean, I'm pretty much guaranteeing it at this point. If they, like I said, if they surprise me, I will give them props for that. So, like, that's the only way, like, the storyline I feel like could have real lasting consequences is if they actually, like, go through and, like, kill off Beast Boy by the end of this event. But, like I said, they're probably not going to. But, like I said, it would be really, like, gutsy if they actually did that. Because, like I said, Dark Crisis, he got shot and nothing really came of it. Like, his eye just magically healed. And then here it's like, now he's like this planet-wide crazy Garo thing. How is that going to wrap itself up? I don't know, but I want to kind of see where it goes from here. So I am intrigued. It does have me intrigued. Maybe I'll just stick with the main 6 issues and maybe some stuff I'm already kind of reading, but we'll see how it all turns out. But anyways, so I know my thoughts are kind of all over the place with this particular issue, but there's some good aspects to it. There's some questionable things to it, but it is the first issue of this event, so I'm going to cut a little bit slack because there's a lot that they kind of throw into this one issue. So hopefully it delivers something entertaining at least, and I hope there actually are some lasting consequences for this event. And like I said, in a way that it actually feels like there's weight to it, because we've had so many back-to-back events at DC that don't really feel like there's so much weight to them. Like Night Terrors, like that event just kind of came and went. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like the lasting, like, I mean, you got Dr. Pate or whatever this character is who just kind of shows up in this thing. So, but, yeah. All right, well, I've rambled on long enough. If you've read Titans Beast World #1, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. And as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.